When it comes to, if you keep, I wonder, well, I don't know, maybe you do. When it comes to keep, like, if you keep being in the red when it comes to P&L, do they end up like cutting your franchise, or how does that work?
No, they work with it. I mean, because a lot of things are not our fault.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, we could run a very successful business. I could be all the way down in employees, like, and literally somebody come and rob $5,000. They let you run your operation how you want to run it. You know what I mean? Like when people
there's no type of 7-Eleven culture that they want you to abide by?
No. As long as the store is clean, your customers are happy, you're making money. Other than that, I can run my store how I want to run my store. I've had plenty of people tell me they're going to report me to corporate. I'm like, hey, have at it.
What can they
tell them Allison sent you?
They can't do nothing, right?
Not necessarily. And if I didn't disrespect anybody, you know what I mean? Like I didn't make us look bad or any of that. Not really. And I'm all about pleasing people. So if you get me to that level where I felt like I had to.
Nah, they must have really done something.
They must have really done, exactly.
They must have really done something. So at times, like, do you ever become discouraged when it comes to?
Every day. I think I had a meltdown 2 days ago. No. You always become discouraged because something always happens. Just when you think you have a handle of something, then something immediately happens. And you're like, but it's kind of the highs and lows of running your own business. You know
so what do you do to stay encouraged about, or to stay in the game?
Wine helps. No, I'm just kidding. But
Speaking of
wine, things help. But no, I don't have as much time for it now. But I used to work out a lot. I love listening to music. I love just unwinding at the end of the day. It's more the things that are personal that help keep me going professionally.
Okay. So how are you even able to manage your time? Like, you have a family outside of this. Like, how are you able to manage your time?
I try to make sure that no matter what I do, I'm at home at a certain time. Okay. Like I always say, no matter what happens, now sometimes it's out of my control, but if you set a goal for yourself and you say, I want to be home by 2:00 p.m., at which point I make sure that the schedule and the stars align so that way I can be home at 2 p.m.
Do you usually hit that goal?
Oh, for the most part.
For the most part?
Yeah. Here recently during COVID, it's been a little bit different because we've been short-staffed and stuff like that, but like for the most part, yeah. You got to make that goal because you can't let it consume you. If you let it consume you, you literally will have a meltdown.
Speaking of COVID, how has that changed your operation?
It was very, very slow. And I spent a lot of tears trying to figure out how we were going to stay afloat. Because, of course, people don't see the connection of how different people lose money in this thing.
Right.
Like, COVID hit everybody.
No, most definitely did.
Except hand sanitizer companies, they stayed afloat.
Oh, yeah. Tissue.
A couple of people stayed afloat. But everybody was hit hard. And so it makes it seem like, oh, you can stay, you're an essential worker because we're on the essential list, you can stay open. Yeah, but nobody's driving cars.
Right.
So nobody's coming to get gas. Nobody's going in the morning to get coffee. So it just hit us hard. But I think I stayed afloat because I was a decent enough business person to realize that I needed to rearrange the schedule a little bit. Like I didn't need 2 or 3 people on every shift. I now need 1. And it made me stronger too, and it helped me brush up on my skills because now I'm working. You know what I mean? Like I can't afford somebody else to be here, but
you got to be here now.
I got to be here and let's work.
What was it like?
My staff, they're so funny. They're like, we didn't think you knew how to work. I'm like, y'all think I just boss people? No, like I worked for 7-Eleven.
I mean, essentially that's what people think because, I mean, you're the boss, so they figure out, nah, she's just gonna boss around.
And when I worked that shift, I was here, there, everywhere, and they were like, you really work? I'm like, yeah, like this place has to run. And that's one of the things that people fail to realize is that even if staff don't come to work, my place still has to run.
Yeah,
so
you still got money to make.
Tired or not, I still have to figure it out.
So are some days harder than others on you when it comes?
Yeah. This last week has been very, very hard for me, just personally. And sometimes, running a business, like your personal life has to be put on hold, or your personal life kind of interferes with some of it.
Right.
And so when you're having a tough time at home, you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're like, how am I going to be able to handle?
Get a handle.
Yeah.
Do you ever let that?
Family's important.
Do you ever let those lines blur when it comes to like personal or business?
Sometimes. This isn't a big corporation. You know what I mean? Like I'm not running some big corporation. I'm not running a Walmart or any of that. Like I have 10 employees. And so you have to get to know them to understand their needs. Because at the end of the day, you can't just say, okay, well, you're not feeling good, let me replace you like Walmart does. Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're not feeling good? No problem. We'll call somebody else. I can't do that. I have to understand fully what's going on with this person. So I have to get into their personal lives and understand what they have going on and see how we can make it all work. I like to consider us a family here.
No, most definitely. That's how you make it work. Anybody on it? No? Nobody on it? Okay, cool. So when you did acquire them, like, what struggles did you face?
I had a lot of different issues. One was haters. I'ma always shout them out.
Shout out to the haters.
Because they always do it for me. They always come through.
Haters. when you say haters, like, was it people close to you?
No, it was just people who thought that I wasn't gonna make it in this industry. Whether it be vendors or 7-Eleven people or personal, like anybody. There's always gonna be somebody who thinks that you can't do it.
So when you went to the 7-Eleven school or whatever, was it people telling you or saying, "Oh, we don't think this is for you"?
Number one thing about that I've realized is that your worst haters are the ones who say nothing at all.
Okay.
You just hear it through the grapevine that they're hating. You know what I mean? And stuff like that fuels me. I'm like, you all don't know me. You all don't know where I came from. You don't know where I've been, and you don't know how I'm a fighter. And so I'm gonna stay here regardless. And so every day I wake up for haters.
Right. Nah, that's good. You got to. You keep it motivated. Nobody in your family ever tell you, this.
No, they're not that type. And my family knows my dad did it, so they're firm believers that I can do it too.
That's good.
Firm believers. So yeah, it's been an experience and highs and lows, and it's still highs and lows. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it gets easier, but I can manage it for sure.
Yeah, you plan on keeping it for a long time?
The contract is 15 years.
Oh shit.
So.
And what happened if you void that contract?
You can always sell them. You can always sell them.
Okay.
But I'm like, sell them and do what? You know what I mean? I'm 30. Well, I think I'm 31. I'm 31 years old. Like what
else is there to do?
I'm gonna be working anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
So
it's not here.
might as well own it. So what advice do you have for upcoming entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs that's on their journey right now?
Keep going. You know what I mean? Like there's been 100 times where I've called 7-Eleven and I've literally been like, fuck this. Like y'all can literally have it. You know what I mean? Like there's been times when I'm like, I've called them in the middle of the night and been like, you know what? Take this store back. I don't care. But you have to keep going. Like and they get calls like that, I'm sure, all the time. Like people get caught up in the moment of like being frustrated. And
it's really that stressful.
There's days. There's days when you're just like, take it all back. But I just say keep going. You know what I mean? Like always just keep going. Like there's nobody stopping you but you.
Right.
At this point.
That's dope. That's crazy though. I still like even own these. Like, is it surreal to you or?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when I walk up every single day, I have people like, "Hey, boss lady," or like, "How you doing?" But like, and it hits me like I'm an actual boss, and like
I really own these.
And these people are respecting me as I walk in.
That's crazy.
So no, it does hit me some days, and then some days it doesn't hit me. Like when I go home, I'm like, ooh, is this what I do for a living?
Have you become, I guess, cocky or arrogant behind it? Or?
No, I always, and people who know me personally, they know that I've always stayed humble. I've always supported other people, and I've always thanked other people who supported me. And that's just all, because I'm like, I would not be here if it wasn't for other people. And so I want to continue to remain humble at all times.
Right.
I will put my accolades out there because I'm like, I worked very hard to get here. I got 3 college degrees, a bunch of student loan debt, worked my way up in corporate America, and now I'm here. So I'm definitely going to want to be able to say something about myself, but I always stay humble, and I never hate on anybody else.
Speaking of college, do you feel like college is actually worth it? Did it help you to get to where you are today?
I think that everybody follows their own path.
Okay.
I always say that. Everybody has their own path. Mine was college because I wanted to be an orthodontist. So I was like, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to become a dentist, and I'm going to become an orthodontist. 15 years later, I'm a business owner. You know what I mean? Like, do I think that college helped me? Yes. Am I saying that I remember every specific information no, but it helped me with networking.
Okay.
It helped me with being around people and having to adjust to different types of people.
You kill it. So how did you even you go from wanting to be an orthodontist to owning 7-Eleven? Where did that path? Where did you veer off?
Oh, that's what's funny. I veered off because I couldn't pass biology.
I think that's a crucial part.
And I almost flunked out of college, and I was like, oh no. And my mom was like, you can't come back home. So I had to figure it out.
So you didn't have a choice.
I picked myself back up and I said, let me just become a business major and see what happens. You know what I mean? And then I got my bachelor's of business administration. Then I got my from Hampton University, which is in Hampton, Virginia.
All right, shout out to Hampton.
Yeah, always and forever. Shout out to them. I love them. And then I got my master's of business administration from Texas A&M University of Commerce. And then I got my master's of accounting from University of Miami. And I just kept building up after that. I don't know how Miami or Hampton helped me tremendously.
Miami and Commerce.
The other two was because I thought I was going to grow in corporate America. And so I needed those to grow in corporate America. But once I no longer was in corporate America, could I have done it without? Possibly. But nobody knows what path they're going to take.
Right. Okay. I think that's about all we have for you today. Tell the people where they can find you at on Instagram, and you can kill that one.
Oh yes, Instagram.
Social media, just all over.
Social media. Instagram is at the number 7 spelled 11 _ Ray RAE Lawson LAWSON. If you just type in 711 _ it should pop up. Facebook 711 _ Ray Lawson _ 711. Twitter, same thing.
She out here, man.
Yeah. And come by and see me too. I'm here every day.
Where you located at?
100 East Interstate 20, Arlington, Texas. And then also 700 West Interstate 20 in Arlington, Texas. Right across the street from each other.
So you mainly at this one all the time?
This is my baby.
Yeah.
This is my baby. So yes, I'm mainly here. But I go to both stores every day.
Yeah.
You got to check on them every day.
Right. Hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. You already know how this go, man. This ain't no rap shit. Definitely ain't no cap shit, man. This is strictly, tell them what it is, strictly that legal trap shit.